Welcome to The Explainer. So, we've already taken a close look at the titans of Taiwan's university scene. NTU, NCCU, NYCU, NCKU, and NTHU. But today, we're diving deep into another major player in that elite league, National Central University, or NCU. So in this really fierce battle among top universities, the big question is, where does NCU fit in? We're going to use the data to see exactly how it stacks up against those five giants, department by department. This should give us a really clear picture of its unique spot in Taiwan's super competitive academic world. So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll break down how we even measure popularity in the first place. Then, we'll jump right into the rankings, see which departments are gaining ground and which are facing some challenges, dig into the why behind it all, and finally, we'll nail down what exactly makes NCU stand out. Okay, let's get into it. Before we even look at the rankings, it's absolutely crucial that you understand how we're actually calculating everything. So what do we mean by popularity? Well, our index isn't just about how tough a department is to get into. It's actually a pretty smart metric that balances how exclusive a department is with its broad appeal. How many students are actually vying for those spots. This gives us a way more accurate picture of what's really going on. All right, now that we know how this sausage is made, let's get to the main event. Let's see where NCU's departments actually land when we put them up against all 319 departments from those other 5 top universities. The big picture for NCU is that it's a really strong, really reliable contender. It might not be in that absolute top tier with giants like NTU or NYCU, but it has carved out a powerful reputation for itself, especially in those engineering and tech fields that are just so critical for Taiwan's economy. And this table really just says it all, doesn't it? This is NCU's core strength on display. Its top departments, like electrical and information engineering, are super competitive, easily landing in the top 100. You could almost call them the second-tier leaders. They're the number one choice for students who are aiming for the best, but maybe not at NTU or NYCU. And hey, business and finance are doing great too, making them a solid alternative to the powerhouses over at NTU and NCCU. Okay, let's move into the middle of the pack. In this 150 to 220 range, you find a real mix of departments. You've got strong engineering programs like communications engineering and optoelectronics, plus the materials track for mechanical engineering. But right alongside them, you have economics, information management, physics, and even Chinese literature. These are all solid, respectable departments, but boy, do they face some intense competition from the other top universities. Now, for the departments ranked beyond 220, this is where you can see how fierce the competition really gets. This group includes fundamental sciences like chemistry, math, and life sciences, along with more specialized humanities like French and Hakka studies. You'll also find fields like law and government, civil engineering, biomedical engineering, and the really unique earth and space sciences departments here. The gap we see here just highlights how incredibly specialized Taiwan's elite universities have become. But, a static ranking only tells us part of the story. The real drama, the interesting stuff, is in the trends. So which departments are on the up and up, and which ones are facing some serious headwinds? This side-by-side comparison is just incredibly telling. On the left side, you see this clear surge in broad, flexible engineering programs and core tech fields. It's obvious students want options and a direct line to the tech industry. But then you look at the right side, and you can see the headwinds. Finance, languages, and even core sciences like mathematics are feeling the pressure, and their popularity is on the decline. Now, what's really crucial here is the sheer size of these changes. The biggest winner by a long shot is the undeclared program in the College of Engineering. This is a huge signal that students are demanding flexibility and want to study across disciplines before they have to pick a specialty. And right behind it, which is no surprise at all, are the core fields that are fueling Taiwan's semiconductor dominance: electrical engineering and chemical and materials engineering. So these shifts, they don't just happen in a vacuum, right? What's actually driving them? Let's try to connect the dots between NCU's data and the major trends that are shaping education and industry all across Taiwan. It really seems like we can trace these changes back to 4 really powerful forces. First, there's the massive gravitational pull of the tech industry. Second, you have a new generation that really wants flexible, interdisciplinary studies. Third is the magnetic effect of those absolute top-tier university brands. And finally, there's a nationwide structural shift away from the humanities and towards more direct career paths. This quote from the analysis really gets to the heart of the matter. It perfectly highlights the core challenge and the opportunity for NCU. Because while the university is absolutely riding this powerful wave from the semiconductor and AI boom, it's not catching the lion's share of the benefit. That still flows disproportionately to the biggest names like NTU and NYCU. And this table just puts it all together beautifully. NCU is clearly a part of the tech boom, but in business and finance, it's feeling the squeeze as the top students flock to the biggest brand names. And when it comes to the humanities, NCU's experience pretty much mirrors the broader national decline. Student priorities are shifting towards more direct career paths, and that really raises some big questions about the future role of liberal arts in such a tech-focused society. So, after digging through all the numbers and looking at the trends behind them, what's our final takeaway? What is National Central University's unique strategic position in Taiwan's whole higher education ecosystem? Well, in short, NCU has masterfully carved out a vital niche for itself. It's become the go-to university for high-achieving students who want a top-quality engineering and tech education just outside that absolute top level. Its traditional strengths are still going strong, and its flexible, undeclared programs are now becoming a huge new draw for students who really value having choices. Ultimately, NCU's future seems completely tied to Taiwan's technocentric wave. It's rising with that incredibly powerful tide. The key challenge for them moving forward will be to deepen their connections within the semiconductor and AI industry, so they're not just riding the wave, but actually helping to steer it. And all of this leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought. NCU's most rapidly growing program is the one that offers breadth and flexibility over instant specialization. So what does that tell us? Does this signal a broader shift in what students, and maybe the world, will value most in the education of tomorrow? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.